To my YouTube channel, the MP Tech. In this tutorial, we will going to cover one of the most important topic in SQL, that is index. So before we start with our topic, if you are new to my channel, I would highly request you to please subscribe my channel and hit a like button if you like this video and share this video to the maximum people who want to learn SQL and who want to become a data analyst, data science, etc. So without any further delay, let's move to the topic. First, we will see what is index. So think of an index as a shortcut that help the database to find the data faster. It is like a table of a content in a book where instead of reading the entire book to find a topic, you can directly go to the right page based on the index. Similarly, an index allows the database to quickly locate the data you need without scanning the entire table. Okay, so there are a few type of data that we will going to cover over here. So the second topic that we will going to cover is a clustered versus non-cluster index. Okay, so we will see what is cluster and what is non-cluster over here with the example. Okay, so what is cluster? So the cluster index is a sort the data in the table based on the index column. The table itself is a physically ordered according to the value of the index column. So this is like a sorting a list of a name alphabetically. How it works? You can only have the one cluster index per table because the data can only have sorted in a one way. Okay. And if I tell you the example of this, we can just create one employee table over here. So I have already written a syntax over here. So you can see the employee ID column is automatically cluster index. Okay. So if I execute this, it is successfully executed now. Okay. This example, the primary key automatically create a cluster index of the employee ID column. This means that the data in the employee table will be physically ordered by the employee ID. Okay. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is non-cluster index. So basically, non-cluster index is like a separate reference list that helps you to quickly find the data, but the data in the table itself is not sorted by this index. How it works? You can have a many non-cluster indexes on a table. Okay, so if I take the example of non-cluster index, so this is the syntax of the non-cluster index that you can see on my screen. So we can just write the create a non-cluster index, and we can just write an index name of the employee table. So if I execute this statement, so you can see it is successfully created. Okay. So here the non-cluster index is called index last name is created on the last column. It will help to speed up the search for the last name, but actual data in the table will not be reordered. Okay. So if I show you the indexes right over here. Okay. So now that we have created a non-cluster index, with the name of IXD last name. Okay. So the question is, how can we see this index, right? Because we have created this non-cluster index. How, if you want to see this index, how can we see that? So it is a very, very simple syntax. So this is the ready-made syntax that I have already written. So if you execute this statement, you can see we have a table name employee and we have created an index name called IDX last name. Okay, so this is the syntax for that. If I explain you this syntax, it is nothing but we are just putting the T means table name as a table name, and I is nothing but a alias name and index name. From this is the like the system indexes, the system table that we have. It is like already SQL has that. And if you put a non-cluster over here in the bracket, you will get this table name and index name. Okay. Now let's move on to the next topic that we have over here. When to use it. Okay. So basically, use a cluster index on a column that you will use to sort the search data in the specific order, example, the employee ID, and use a non-cluster index when you want to search a data in a column like a last name, but you don't need a data to be ordered by the columns. Okay. So that is when you can use both cluster and non-cluster index. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is a full text indexing. Okay. So what is a full text indexing? So the full text index is used for the efficiently searching a large blocks of text such as the product description, articles, comments, right? So it is a useful when you need to find a record that contain the specific word or phrases. Okay, how it works? So it the indexes the word in the text heavy column and make a searching for those words faster. Okay. So this is what we have, the full text searching. So if I create this, like we have to write the create syntax, and we can just mention the full text index on, and we can just mention the product table name and the column name that we want. And then we can put like this, the key index is PK is nothing but your primary key product. Okay. So if I execute this syntax, so it is saying products is invalid. Okay, I think we don't have any product table over here. So we probably need to create a product table first, before we execute this. But don't worry, I hope you got the logic. How to write a syntax to create an index for this one. So this is a syntax for that. Now the question is when to use it. Okay. So the full text indexing, when you have a large text field like a product description or the reviews, and you need to search within that text for the specific word or phrase. Okay. Then you will going to use the full text indexing. Okay. Now we will going to move. Now we will move to the next topic, that is the composite indexes. So what is a composite index? It is an index on a multiple columns. Okay. So it is a useful when you frequently query a combination of the column, example both first name and last name. Okay, then you will going to use a composite index. So how it works? The database create an index that combine the multiple column, which speed up the searches involving both of them. Okay. So like here, we already have the syntax for this, create non-cluster index. And we will putting our index underscore name underscore salary. So this is my index name on employee table, and these are the column that we want to create an index on. So if I execute this, you can see it is successfully executed. And if I come here and if I want to see it, I can just execute this SQL statement, and you can see there are two indexes has been created successfully, right? So in this example, the composite is created on both the first name and last name column. And this index help to speed up the searches that involve both the columns, such as searching for the employee by the first name and the last name together. Okay, so this will help in that scenario. When we can use it, use a composite index when you often filter or sort the data based on the multiple column. For example, if you are frequently searching for both the first name and last name together, so this index will speed up those searches, okay, and the queries. Now, next topic that we have is covering indexes. Indexes. So, what is that? So, covering indexes is an index that contain all the columns you need to satisfy a query. So, this means that the database can retrieve the result directly from the index without needing to look at the actual table data. How it works? The covering index include both the index column and any additional column used in the query, so the database doesn't need to access the main table at all. Okay. So what is the syntax for that to create it? We can just mention the create, and we can just write non-cluster index, and we can just put the index name over here. On we can put our employee table name, and over here the column, and we can say include salary, right? So if I execute that, you can see it is executed. If I want to see it, I will run this SQL statement. So you can see that the third index has been created. So here converting, okay, so here converting indexes create the first name, last name, and the salary column included in the indexes, but not used for sorting. Now, if you query the first name, last name, and salary, the database can return the result directly from the indexes without needing to look at the employee table. Okay, so when we can use it, so use the covering index when you query the access the multiple column and you want the database to retrieve the data from the index itself, improving the performance. Okay, so mostly all these indexes, guys, we are using for the performances. Okay, so here we have a very large data set. However, if you go to the real-time industry, you will have a lot of records over there, the millions of record, billions of record. So in that cases, when you run, the normal query, it will take a lot of time, and you will get fed up with that. So using this kind of technique will really helpful, in terms of the performance. Because suppose if you are in the data analytics world and you have a Power BI report to get refreshed, right? So it has to be refreshed within certain very limited time period, right? Within 1 minute or 2 minutes. And if you write a very big query, and in that query you have a multiple sub queries as well, in that case it will be very slower performance. Like every if you want to see the data very frequently, you will not be able to do that. Assume you have the Power BI report which has to be refreshed within 1 hour. And in that case, if your query is very large, then you will not be able to achieve your target, right? So this is a very important techniques, that is made in SQL, right? So you have to be learn this. This is very important. So just watch this video till the end. You will get to know everything about this, right? Okay. Now let's come to the topic when to use it. Use a covering index when you query the access a multiple column and you want a database to retrieve the data from the index itself, improving the performance. Okay, now I will going to show you the summary of the SQL indexing technique. So you can see the table, on my screen. So over here we have a cluster index. If you read the description, it is saying that sort the table based on the index column only once per table, right? So create a table employee. Here we have an example of SQL. Now the second that we have a non-cluster index, like separate the index for the quick lookup, can have a many per table, right? So here we have a syntax for that. Now the full text index over here. So indexes larger text column for the fast word searches. Composite indexes. So index on a multiple column for the faster searches on the combination of the column. Covering the indexes that include all the column required for the query. Okay. So we have covered almost all the topics in indexes. So if I tell you the conclusion of the overall video, the indexes help to speed up the searches and query by acting as a shortcut to find the data quickly. Different type of indexes like a cluster, non-cluster, full text, composite and covering are they useful for the different scenarios. Choosing a right indexes depend on how your data is queried and what performance improvement you need. Okay, so I hope you got the topic and you have learned something new. So if you find this topic interesting, please hit the like button and don't forget to please subscribe my channel because this will give me a lot of motivation to create a new video for you guys. And don't forget to share this video to your friends and colleagues. Thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.